How's everybody doing today? I already have the water. Don't worry about. I wonder if there's like a way that I can have that pop up on screen when someone redeems that. Drink anything other than coffee. No, it's after midnight. I do that all the time, so don't worry about that.
Call the guy. I don't care how many this makes. Call the fucking guy.
Hey, damn. Thanks for the resubscription. And I'm sorry, but no, Nikhil Clayton didn't get a follow until I met him in person. So I don't hand out follows. Sorry. Need to redeem for food. The fuck you do? Absolutely not. I have to convince myself that I'm trying to lose weight over here. What's written on the mug? I didn't buy this one. Someone gave me this one, and it was the mug that was clean because all of my other mugs were in here because mental stuff. Have you seen the new Ant-Man? You haven't been on my TikTok in a while, have you? I have so many passive-aggressive mugs. I don't know if I would call all my mugs passive-aggressive, but I do have quite a few passive-aggressive mugs. The guy you pulled into the car in your TikTok. That's Sir Superhero. He's another comic book TikToker, and we went to a concert. Actually, we didn't go to a concert. I dropped him off at the airport, and then I went to the concert. Drove as much after your long break. Yeah, TikTok kind of stopped pushing me after that. I relatively get back up to the views that I used to do, but not as much as it was before. But I did need that break, so I'm not too beat up about it. Do you have any idea where I can find Regrettable? Oh, the book? I think you can just order it. I'm pretty sure you can just order Regrettable Superhero. I picked it up at a thrift shop, so. Chasing him, I loved it so much. She hasn't like filmed them, but I know she has those rants just ready and waiting. Most adorable thing ever, right? I thought it was so cute. I already got 2 spaces on my bingo. Oh, I forgot to. Yeah. Okay, hold on. So, I've instituted a new thing in the chat. I talked about it last time. But I actually made it for this time. So, this is the bingo tracker. And the bingo tracker is anytime that any of these things happen, y'all have to call it out. And I will mark it off on the stream. So when any of these things happen, I'm all set. So you guys have to monitor this. This is in the Discord, I'm pretty sure. These are the tiles that we have today. And I'm pretty sure these are going to be the tiles for a little while. Is not wearing merch on this one? Is that on this one? Panic will be everywhere. Fan moments. Oh, Glassesless is already here. So we're gonna... Wrong one. None of these logos are labeled, unfortunately, so I kind of have to guess. Caffeinated Panda, god damn it. So we'll do... Damn it. There we go. I don't think not wearing merch is on this one. But there we go. So, the rules for this are, if bingo is achieved, then I have to do a random what's on the shelf panda. And I have to talk about a random comic that's on my shelf. What's on the... God damn it, Eileen! Alright. So someone just redeemed what's on the shelf panda already. God damn it. Okay. Let's go back to conversation then. Okay, so pick a number between 1 and 4, Eileen. Middle space is the free space. That's fair. Plus, someone already redeemed that, so we'll mark it. Back to conversation. All right. So 3. Okay. Now pick a number between 1 and 25. We'll see if my chat catches up in time. 17. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Both of you guys picked Deadpool comics, ironically. Yeah, this is the bingo tracker right now, for anybody who hadn't seen it yet. Okay. So, the comic that you picked is Deadpool, I Rule, You Suck. This was a early comic that I got when I was still in my, like, super big Deadpool phase. I don't know what triple drowned panda is, so I'm not sure. I'm assuming that's when, like, more than 3 people do the drink water. But this comic is about, if I'm not mistaken, it's when Deadpool is attacked by vampires, but not when he is married to the Vampire Queen. This is kind of like a fun one-off in the back half of him being attacked by vampires, because this is right around when Twilight was really big. Ironically enough, the front half of this comic, as thin as it is, has absolutely nothing to do with that. The front half of this comic is Deadpool fighting with a small contingent of the Avengers at the time to fight Dr. Bong. But the Avengers that he's working with turn out to be Monster Queen. Right, she was engaged to Dracula, but not the vampire. It's not that one. It's not when he was married to Shikla. It had different vampires in the back of it. The front half of this, though, is Deadpool fighting with Captain America, Moon Knight, and Black Widow, who are all Avengers at the time, to fight Dr. Bong. But it turns out that those 3 are clones that Dr. Bong had made. Let's see if I remember correctly. And there's like a knockdown, drag-out fight between Steve Rogers and Deadpool halfway through this book. Yeah, here it is. There's like a full-scale fight between the 2 of them. Is that Bomb or Bong? Bong. B-O-N-G. Dr. Bong. This is what he looks like. He is a man whose head is a bell.
Fucking kid.
His one superpower is that bell helmet that he wears. If he rings it, it like echoed. It's like a sonic boom, essentially. And if I remember correct, yeah, he hits it once and 2 people disintegrate. That's what Dr. Bong's thing is. What was the question that he used? Captain America pulls a "because I'm Batman" in this book, where Deadpool has the Captain America and the Captain America clone tied up, and he's trying to figure out who is who, which one's which. And he's asking them questions to try and figure out who was who. And the clone answers like 6 questions correctly. So he assumes that that's the right one. And then all of a sudden, Captain America just drops, like, oh, Dr. Bong used his powers to teleport back to his home base, and that's how he's going to defeat you, because he's going to ambush you. And Deadpool gets all confused, and he points the gun at him, and he says, how do you know that? And Captain America just stares him in the face and says, because I'm Steve Rogers. And he immediately turns around and shoots the other one and says, hell yeah, you are. Yeah, and then the back half of this book is like Deadpool fights vampires in a hospital, I think. Yeah, it's Deadpool fights vampires in a hospital, and the way that he wins is he threatens a priest to bless the water reserve that they're using for the sprinkler system. So he starts a fire in the hospital, and the sprinkler system kills all of the vampires immediately. But yeah, it was also written by Gerard Way. Like the front half, I think, is written by Gerard Way. So, hell yeah, awesome book. Good choice, Eileen. Okay. Isn't that a music guy? Gerard Way? Yeah. But he also wrote Umbrella Academy. Yeah, Gerard Way, the front man of My Chemical Romance, is also a very esteemed comic writer. Which, it blows everybody's mind whenever they remember that, but like, he wanted to be a comic book writer first. It's also another thing, like, Eminem wanted to be a comic book artist before he became a rapper. Like, there's... Yeah, he also has a Doom Patrol run. Gerard Way does. That's because Gerard Way is actually a really fucking good comic book writer. I think he proposed a Batman run that I didn't think was going to be very good, but a lot of people seem very hyped for. He didn't get to write it, but I've seen, like, people trying to do it. Wait, Umbrella Academy, this series with the child, is based on a Yeah. Writing this comic is amazing. Oh, there's a direct, like, call out to Twilight in the end. I don't know if Gerard Way wrote the vampire bit, or if he wrote the Deadpool fights with Captain America bit. 70 plus views. Are we? Mine says 65. 65. I gotta remember where these things are on the screen. It said 72 on my end. Oh, shit. Okay. Back to the bingo tracker. 70 plus viewers. That's in line 2. All right. Just went down to 60. Well, we passed 70, so I'll count it. What is this bingo card thing? Oh, I introduced it this episode because somebody made like 6 or 7 bingo cards. Nimbus made like 6 or 7 bingo cards for my page, so now I do it as a joke. All right. What are the bingo things? If you go into the Discord, they're in the media channel. Okay, so yesterday we finished the drawing for the comic shop. Today, let's see, there it is. We are going to actually start making the 3D model. So this is the layout that we have for the comic shop itself. Just so you guys can actually see this bottom corner, there is a clothes rack and a bookshelf over here and the front door. But this is our layout. Today we're going to start blocking it out. We're not going to really be doing anything like super detailed. But we're going to be blocking out where things are, where things need to be. The reason everything is cubes right here is just so I can block out space, really. The one thing that I don't know is how tall the walls are. I think they're like 10 or 12 feet tall, but I'm not 100% certain. Are you opening? No, this is my old comic shop. It's the one I have the sign from. This is the comic shop that me and my family had when I was a kid. Good lord, if I opened a comic shop, that would be the most hilarious thing in the world. Okay. So, this is the layout that we're going for. Here is what we have right now, which is just open fucking plains here. 2 other cards I make, or I would say don't keep making cards, but if you have more right now, just go ahead and send them to me. So, the floor is 16 feet by 26 and a half feet. We have to decide what our measurements are going to be for the numbers, like when we're inputting numbers of sizes. Since somebody redeemed it. Is that part of the bingo? Hold on. I can't actually read the... Mark off Panda Shell since someone redeemed it. Is it not marked off? What are we talking about? First column. Middle row. Panda. Oh, fuck. Alright, yep. You're right. 3. First one. Pink. There we go. You guys are zigzagging. Okay. Back to here. So, I'm thinking that we're going to make the measurements in here because my like increments aren't. They're trying to find a way to say this. My increments are not inches; they are just numerals. They're just numbers to feel how big things are. Usually you can use them like centimeters, but I didn't measure everything in centimeters. I measured them in inches. So, and all of the measurements I'm going to find will most likely be in inches. So I'm thinking that I might make the numbers just purely inches and hope to God that works out good. To size the font with the fucking square. Love making them, but that drove me out the wall. Ha! Yeah, I can't imagine. You see, this is how you get me to drink. My coffee is on the left-hand side, and my water's on my right-hand side. But I'm right-handed, so I just reach out and grab whatever drink is next to me. Just translate and send me. Is that it is a choice, but that means that I have to run all of my measurements through an extra layer of calculation before I make them. So I could do it in inches and see if that works, or I could run all of my measurements back through centimeters again and see if that works. But then I have to translate it from feet to inches to centimeters. Which I can do. It seems like it should just scale. Kind of. Here, let's do this. So I make a cube, right? And let's scale that. What the shit? Let's scale this cube to 3 by 3 by 5. All right, so we have this little rectangle right here. It's a box. And then I think it's in preferences. If I can find preferences of it. Settings and preferences. And now I need to find like how big things are. The measurements that I'm making are all randomized. Not randomized. They're not labeled specifically in inches or centimeters. You have to pretend that a unit is an inch instead of a centimeter, and it'll just be a scale model. It should. It should. The problem is when I start getting into fractions, because inches are counted in fractions and not decimals. And when I need to start like calculating how big something is through that. Centimeters are a lot easier because there's 10 centimeters. There's 10 millimeters to a centimeter, and it makes it easier to scale. So it's something that I could do. I could live to be 1,000 years old and I will never understand 3D modeling. It's actually a lot easier than you think it is. All of the stuff I'm saying is literally just one Maya unit is not a centimeter or an inch. So you have to decide, are you measuring in centimeters or are you measuring in inches? And I'm trying to decide what I want to do right now because all of my measurements for this are in inches. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do it in centimeters and change all of these to centimeters. Which just kind of means having a calculator open on the side. Or I can open this back up in Photoshop and swap out all of the numbers with centimeters. Which honestly might be my best option. Yeah. That's probably my best option now that I think about it. Says the man who went to school for it. Said, what are you talking about? Wrong side. There we go. So, all right. But I prefer using centimeters is like a legit work project, but I prefer inches for personal work for some reason. Education in it. That's fair. I got a whole ass education in it, and I am saying that it is easier than you would think. But ironically, everything that I used for that whole ass education in it, everything that I'm doing right here, I learned in like my first year. My whole ass education was a lot more towards actual game production and not just 3D modeling. So we are gonna open up the Photoshop file, and then we're going to translate all of the measurements from inches to centimeters, and then we'll put those centimeters into Maya so that we can actually have good scaling. That desktop is... Thank you! It's actually a two-piece. There is, is it Marvel on this side? That's DC on that side. It's DC on this side, and then Marvel on the other side. Because Alex Ross is a god, and I will take no questions. Kingdom Come, right? Actually, that's not from Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come, they're all old. Like, everyone's got a different costume in Kingdom Come. All right. So, 26.5 feet. So this is going to be 807.72 centimeters. That is not what I wanted. 16. 487.68. Which honestly just means that I'll probably just scale it down to 487 and 807 and not worry about it. Fractions of a centimeter. The millimeters aren't going to make this thing unrealistic. It's really hard to not talk about comics on here when I see comments that I don't understand. Because I'm bad with money. I am too. I bought The Last of Us Part 1 for $70 yesterday, even though I'm still figuring out rent this month. So I get it. I understand. Alright, so 4 feet. It's your rules and your street. It is, but I choose not to because I don't want to break my own rules. That's 74, 4 feet. 121, so 122 centimeters, essentially. Hey, thank you for the cheer. Missed part 1 re-release. Oh, yeah, they made a part 1 re-release. The graphics are incredible. Stay. Do I have another 4 foot anywhere? I do. Now we're going to do 2 feet and then 1 foot. So 60.96. This is all the aggravating pre-production. Part of planning things like this out is making sure all your measurements are right, and if you're plotting a real building, how big is that building? Where does all the measurements go? What are you using for your sizing? What are you using for your specifications? But luckily, after this is done, you never have to do it again. Why are you making a 3D model of your comic shop? Because I am trying to pad out my 3D portfolio, because everything I have from my 3D portfolio is from when I was in school, and I am still trying to get a job in the gaming industry. And to do that, I need a good portfolio. And the specific jobs that I'm trying to get are 3D environment artist or 3D lighting artist, both of which this will allow me to do. Ironically, the lighting in here isn't exactly the funnest part. My last semester and need to have more projects on my art station. Cheers, man. I have two games on my art station. One of which is 2D, so that's not helpful. I have like 2 or 3 interiors that I did. I have a prop that I did. So I don't exactly have like a focused portfolio, which is what I need to be able to get these specific jobs. Your degree? Oh, damn, you only have 3 semesters left. Hell yeah, Lynx. Okay, I think I got all of the 2 feet measurements here. So let's do 5 feet and then 2.5 feet. $152.4. 6 more years? What are you going to school for? Still out and everything takes 800 times longer. Cheers to that. I understand that. I heard my neighbor yelling. No idea what about. You know, on the Flashpoint trade? I already did, and I'm annoyed. And I'm fucking annoyed by it. Two Washington spaces on the bingo card. The misery of Washington. Yeah. Listen, I complain about this place enough that it makes sense that it's on there. Fine arts with a minor in creative writing. But damn! Hell yeah, good for you. Damn it. Wait, that's not 6 feet, that's 5 feet. Damn it. This is what I get for doing things blindly. Alright, now we'll do 6 feet though. 182.88. Obvious college graduate and what have been checked? What counted for what? Yep, bottom line, middle. Yep. go. Getting a bingo before the 1 hour mark? God, I hope not. Second line, second in. Oh, second to last line, so fourth line, second in. I just need to make sure to not complain about Washington for the rest of the stream, and we should be good. Back to live. Okay. 6 feet. 182.88. You know, the funniest part about this, everything I'm doing here, didn't you art? No, I did not. Thank God. USA, and I don't know where to find any comics. I am the exact opposite side of the country to you, so I also don't know where to find any comics for you. I would really use resources that have digital comics. Marvel and DC both have really good apps. Anyway, what I was saying, no one I know does this stuff other than me. A lot of people play it by ear, like measuring this stuff out. Or they're like, oh, it's roughly 4 foot by 6 foot, so I'm going to make it 4 foot by 6 foot, and then they figure it out. I'm way too detail oriented for that, which is my downfall. And this is 152. Alright, I think we figured out all of the basic measurements here, so. And then we're going to go to 67.64. You see, I want to like round these measurements until I get measurements like that, where I'm like, that is, that's relative. That's a very specific measurement. Apparently I have a 3.75 over there. 114.3. Okay. And 60.96. Hardest thing that I'm gonna have to do. Ugh. Architecture. Yeah, right now it's architectural design. I'm laying out what the actual floor is going to look like. I still think these are too far over. I think I might move them over a little bit. But yeah, right now we're in the architectural design place. Because I actually like to have the measurements right for when the building actually gets made. Because this is a real building. This is a place that I actually lived in for a while, so I want it, not lived in, but I was like in for a while. So I want it to actually reflect the real look of the place. So this is 30.48 down here. I already have 3 foot somewhere, don't I? No, I don't. I haven't done 3 foot yet. So many measurements. 91.44. What's very funny to me is that this looks very open, like a very open-ish floor plan from the top, but when you're actually in it, it's a lot more cramped. And I think I might actually have a camera in the scene that's like moving through the thing at head level, like at like a 6 foot level or like a 5.5 foot level. Check off Panda. But I didn't say that though. Everything looks clearer when you're in it. Well, it's not that it's clearer, it's that it is smaller. It's applicable to Amy as a mod. I think y'all are stretching now. I just realized that I didn't measure out how far that is. Anything other than coffee. I already am. You just watched me drink it. Alright, what is it? Is that 3? Is that the 3rd time somebody's checked that out? For when Discord is referenced. I have to do that anytime anybody mentions comics in here. That's not fair. So Triple Drowned is checked off now. And what are we looking at? Alright, back to live. Alright. That's all marked off. That's marked off. Um, 91.44. There are two things that are going to be very difficult. That's why I'm here, and I'm thinking of getting a flight to New York to buy comics because I figured out how to not get student loans, and I'm getting enough money for a house. Wow. Damn, good for you, Earl Flair. Shit. What we got? What was I saying? Oh, right. The hardest part of this is actually going to be modeling, like, figures, because there are, like, figures that are out that I have to, like, actually model for this now. Given that it's gonna be worth it. It's literally part of my job, but Mark, I feel like you guys are going to say that anything counts. Is that what that says? Okay, so all right, top line, fourth down. There we go. All right. The hardest parts of this are actually going to be figuring out, like, the figures and modeling very specific parts, like toys. Because I have not done that before. If that's 91.44, I'm assuming that this is also 91.44. Because that's the back door there. Still, oh shit, yeah it is. There we go. Thank you. This is what happens when I don't actually look at the screen very much. Which is that? That is 2, 3. That's 3 feet. All right, that's a 3 foot wide gap. So this is another 91.44. Ooh, shit. View, show, grid. There we go. All right. I think we can finally start working on inches instead of feet now. Because I've marked off all the sizes that are just feet. So, I'm going to switch my calculator over to inches. So, 18 inches is 45.72. To 154.2. $30, 76.2. How big is this fake wall? I just realized that I didn't give it a size. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6. So it's 6 feet. 6 feet. That's it. Yeah, I guess it is. All right. So 182.88 centimeters. God damn this fucking grid. There you go. There we go. 14. 35.56. I have some more down here. Not meters, centimeters. Here we go. 30 inches. 76.2. I heard a bring. Hey, thank you for the gifted subs, Invis. What's the calculations and plan for 3D model that I'm making, which we should be able to get to in the second hour of this, hopefully. See on both ends instead of just being a normal USB, and I am just. It's because that makes it charge faster. Also, there are plans for people going to there are plans from tech companies to transfer from a bunch of different types of USB to just USB-C, so that USB-C can be used for like phones and computers and laptops and everything. Hell, I even heard that in England they're actually making it so that iPhone can't use their own specific charger. Yeah, no, they don't do that anymore either. That's also an Apple thing. You do have to buy that shit separately. Also more money, so. Capitalism. So I need 16 inches. $40.64. What I can from ASE. Ha. You see, it's going to be the funniest thing when America starts buying contraband iPhones from England, from the EU, so that we can get USB-C charging cords instead. Maya units instead of inches, instead of doing all this conversion math. Okay, so Maya units are just 1-to-1, and they're in decimals. So it's already essentially centimeters. That's the only reason that I'm doing this conversion math. Because Maya units are just 1. They're just numbers. So a cube is just 1. There's no actual measurements to it. But if I'm trying to make it relatively to scale, I have to make those scale measurements to something. So if I made it fucking 14 inches, I didn't mark everything in inches here. I marked it in... Check off RIP your sleep. Why? I haven't talked about my sleep schedule. Now I've lost my train of thought. Since there are both feet and inches marked in here, I would need to go back and convert it from inches to feet anyway. Or feet to inches anyway. So if I'm going to do that, I might as well change all of the units over to centimeters, because they're already in decimals. So then I can just convert it straight over. if that makes sense. Each space to mean. That's probably the best idea. Yeah, trust me, I like the metric system more, but all of the measurements that we have are in feet, so I have to work with what I have. It's like me being over here being like, yeah, I don't like capitalism, but you know, bills still gotta be paid for me, so. Amy, just so that I don't have to mark off the bingo card, can you say the thing? Do you plan on putting it all in Unreal for lighting? I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about doing that because then moving cameras is a little bit easier. Unreal is really good with lighting, in comparison to, like, the lighting in things like Maya are really, really good, but it takes forever to fucking render. But in Unreal, rendering is a lot easier. Rendering is just very quick because I can do real-time lighting. Plus, then I can use that real-time lighting for my, excuse me, that portfolio. Amy the God mod. Exactly. Alright, I tried. Ha! Amy, me, Nikhil, and Nick Granger, I think his name is. We were all talking about you at Straw Hat Goofy's thing. It's also nice to just have that workflow on your portfolio. Exactly, which is another reason why I'm wanting to do it, is so that I can show that I took it from Photoshop to Maya to Unreal and actually being able to show the whole workflow that I got from A to B. Rice Imperials, I think, of Victoria. You what? Yeah, we were all talking because you're a mod in all of our setups. Like, you're helping Nick with his stuff. So we were all joking where we're like, yeah, she just kind of popped up one day and is now helping all of us. So she's awesome. She's great. I did make the joke with Matt where I'm like, Amy's the one person in our entire ecosystem that cannot have a controversy, because if Amy has a controversy, the entirety of comic TikTok goes down, like, overnight. It is just fucking, all of us get fucking burned instantly. Put Amy on payroll. Hey, and Viz, did you not hear me 5 seconds ago where I said I'm still trying to figure out my rent for this month? As Amy fan club. We are all Amy fan club. We all support. We would love to put Amy on the payroll if we had a payroll to be able to do that, because we are all broke former college students. Like, right after you moved. So I get that. You need to DM you the list when it's finished. Yes, that would be great. Turn the music down a bit. Sure. Can I turn the
Albert, yeah, call the guy. I don't care how many this makes. Call the fucking guy.
Thank you for the subscription. There we go. Oh, well, resubscription. Goddamn. You're looking for is unemployed. It is. We are all unemployed. Or at least most of us. I say broke because Nikhil has a job. I don't know if Nick has a job. Me and Matt don't have jobs. In eventual hugs, I have a day job. Ha! Thank you very much. We all appreciate you, Amy. You're amazing. What am I missing? 9 inches, 28 inches. All right. 22.86. 28 is 71.12. Okay. 15 is 38.1. Okay, what am I missing? Kinda looks like I have everything. This is 6 feet, so I do have that. I think we're good. All right. Now it's just figuring out heights. This is all game design stuff. It's kind of game design stuff. You have to click a thing on Twitch to put money into your bank. No? Don't think you do. I get paid automatically. I don't know what you mean by that. That's so rare. Ha 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 ha. Okay. So next goal, I gotta find out how tall
That's a
the
different
building
kid. Did
was.
you get a different fucking kid?
Thank you for the follow. Figure. Is Panda Laugh on the bingo card? Laughing motherfucker, it is. Does ironic laugh count? Nimbus, does ironic laugh also count? A laugh is a laugh. Oh, okay. All right. No, that's a space on a different car. Ha ha! Thank you! All right. You've had a bingo space removed. Is it? Oh, that's... Ah! Get out of here. That one still counts. This is the one that doesn't count. That was not a real one. Okay. So I have all the measurements. The next goal is figuring out the heights of everything because it's a real building. So let's figure out the height. Average ceiling height. 8 feet. Looking at the reference image. Bad reference image. Also bad reference image. Also bad reference. Can you see the ceiling in it? Okay. Alright. I'd say that's 8 feet. Because these are 6 feet tall. So that's got to be 8 feet up there. You guys think that's a good barometer? Because these are 6 feet tall each. And then these are... The roof is up here. So I'm assuming that's 2 feet. So I think it's a safe bet to say that the ceilings are 8 feet tall. Alright, so let's do... Ow. Alright, so... feet and 8 feet in the thing. It's 283.84 centimeters. Two hundred 243. Oops. 43.84 centimeters. Let's hope I didn't do that anywhere else. All right. So we have the height of the ceiling, which means we have the height of the walls, which means that we know how tall all the windows are, because all the windows basically go all the way to the ground. Good stream. See you, Birchbox. Alright, so now that I know how tall the ceilings are and how tall the walls are, all of... Whoa. Hello, Broomy. Haha. The raid is not actually my raid. It is if I raid Nathan. The only question that I have now is... Yeah, those look to be about 6-foot windows. Or like 5.5 foot tall windows, so I'll mark that. I'll say the windows are 5.5 feet tall. It's 167.64 centimeters. There we go. I don't think there's anything else I gotta think about. It's been very productive today. Thank you very much. I'm trying to actually get some fucking work done because I've been doing this drawing for like 2 fucking weeks. And I am not trying to be an architect again. Alright, so. Walls are figured out. Floor is figured out. Let's go into conversation mode while I export this.
That's a different kid. Did you get a different fucking kid?
Comic shop layout.
That's a different kid. Did you get a different fucking kid?
Thank you for the follows, by the way. Took a week off to do social and do content creator things unrelated to streaming. That is true. I did indeed do that. Check out Caffeinated Panda. I already did. And I already marked off over 70, so we're all good. You invited 70 little gremlins into the viewing gallery while you do it, and we keep distracting you. That is the, that's the thing that I've done to myself. I took the rule where it's like, oh, if you teach somebody else how to do something, then it'll help you when you're doing it. I took that to heart, but that's not great when you have ADHD and you get distracted easily. Y'all mentioning shit doesn't change the bingo card. It's me. I have to do it. Do you heater on? I do. have tips for doing hard lighting scenario. What do you mean by hard lighting scenarios? I'll take a tangent for this. Do you mean like where there's like one really hard light source, like fire or like a spotlight or something? How long did it take to dye your hair? Almost 2.5 hours. And it didn't even get as dark, as light as I wanted it to. There's still blonde parts in here, and I did not want that. Fire that wraps around the person. Okay, fire that wraps around the person essentially ensures no shadows. Or it ensures shadows that are, like, up. Like, it's at like, the tops of their shoulders. Like, if you had a person in the center, the shadows that you would be seeing would be, like, up high. It would be topmost portions of the person. So like the tops of their shoulders, and if they have a really hard brow line. If you're in a situation where there is a character surrounded by fire, only on their sides. If you mean surrounded by everywhere, then there's no shadows. Full stop. Because you're surrounded by all light. But if you are centered and there is a circle of fire around you, would there be rim lighting? No, because it's not. Rim lighting implies lighting that is piercing a shadowed area. So this right here is rim lighting. My lighting setup is a great indicator of 3-point lighting. So let me actually, I'm gonna open Discord. My lighting setup here is what you're talking about. My lighting setup is perfect 3-point lighting. So I have lighting behind me that causes rim lighting on my shoulder and the side of my head, and this is in my shadowed area. So that's where the rim lighting comes from. I have secondary lighting that is 90 degrees from the camera, which is lighting up the other shadowed area of my face. And I have a light coming straight from the direction of the camera, which is your key light. But if you were surrounded by fire, then there's no light above you, and there's no light below you, but there's light everywhere else. So there's no shadowed areas around this area of the face or body. There is only shadowed areas where there's the absence of light. So where is the absence of light in that scenario? If you're surrounded by light, it would be the top of you where there is no light coming in. It would still get like bleed because there's no like hard edged portions of the body, but it would be like, it would slowly fade into a shadow on the top of the head. It would slowly fade into a shadow, maybe a little bit on the bottom lip, not very much. Tops of the shoulders, they would be a little bit faded up into a shadow, probably around this area, depending on how harsh the shoulders are. And there would be shadows in places where light can't cut through. So like in between the body and the arm, there would probably be shadows. A little bit near where the legs meet the pelvis area, there would probably be shadows. But other than that, you're basically surrounded by light. I hope that makes sense. I hope that like makes it make a little bit more sense. And no, I don't cut my own hair. Lines this straight? You fucking kidding me? Absolutely not. No problem. Haha, I gotta use my lighting artist skills. Mock is fluid. That's the funniest thing. It's actually very much not right now because I have a shit ton of gel in it. So like if I get closer, you can see that it's like if I move closer to the mic, you could probably hear. It's stiff right now with how much gel I have in it. It's spiky right now. That feels very weird. And sometimes dote.
That's a different kid. Did you get a different fucking kid?
Glasses bingo applies when he's wearing. It does apply when I'm wearing them. There is a glasses-less one. The reason I wear glasses is because if I look at a screen for too long, I start to get headaches. So these are blue light glasses that I have. Sometimes I don't need them. Sometimes I'm just too lazy to put them on. And it kind of just depends on if I remember them or not. Hair because every time I only wanted my sides cut, they would cut one side more than the other. What? How? If you're telling them to cut it on a specific length, then I'm surprised. I started setting nightlight on all my screens to cut the blue light and help so much. I would do that, except for the fact that I am not only a lighting artist, but I am an artist, so I need the colors to be pure. I need to be able to see what the colors actually are, and I need them to be at a good brightness so that I can actually tell, like, if there are things breaking into each other. So I can't turn on, like, that yellow light filter on, like, screens and stuff. Otherwise, I am just fucked in terms of my job. Do you keep the hawk at a certain length? I do. I do when I get it cut to a certain length. Can you turn it on your phone? I could, but I don't stare at my phone long enough to cause the headaches. It's usually only when I'm staring at screens, which is why I wear them when I'm like 3D modeling for really long amounts of time. So why are we sitting in the chatting screen? I was just answering questions. And I was specifically answering Rochambeau's question because they had a good lighting question that I wanted to answer before I moved on to 3D. But now that I have these centimeters, I can actually move on to 3D. And I also need to set my project real quick. So, project window, new. Stream drawings, project, comic, shop. I know you can't see it. I am setting my project files real quick, which is essentially just, it's making it so when I save, it goes somewhere specific. It's not, I'm not doing anything that you guys aren't seeing. Why is your room light blue then? Honestly, this is darker blue than you guys see on the camera. And not only that, I'm not looking at it. So it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. I use it for rim lighting. I'm looking at this, which is yellow. I'm going to GDC this March. I don't know. Probably not, if it's in March. I would love to, but I haven't been invited to it, so probably not. I'm too broke to be able to pay for that shit yet. Instead of lying normally on my head. Hey, cheers! That is why I have a mohawk. Actually, it's not why I have a mohawk, but it's why I say I've had a mohawk since I was born. All right, we're going to go to actual live screen now. So, now we have our measurements. I'm going to open up our layout with the centimeters. So this is our layout now that there's a bunch of centimeters. So the floor is 807.72 by 487.68. So let's do... Here's a weird thing. I always use a cube because then it is two-sided. But I should probably... I use a cube when it's something like oh. You and your gifted subs. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I don't want anybody new to think that I don't appreciate when people give gifted subs. Have you ever wanted to grow your mohawk out more? No, not even a little bit. I have plans on if I ever did cut my hair, but none serious. So we're gonna use a plane. Here's the thing. I was gonna use a cube because kind of like when I did my comic, the comic transition that we did, that needed a two-sided piece of paper, right? But planes are one-sided. So if you look at it, this side has a gray texture on it, but this side doesn't. There's nothing here. This cannot be textured at all. So this means it will be one-sided if I put it into something like Unreal. There will be a texture on one side and it will be invisible on the other. This is a lot more useful if I'm trying to cut down on polygon count, which is another big 3D thing. The more polygons in a scene, the more the game has to load. So you want to keep your poly count as low as possible because it makes things run faster. Usually you have a budget of polygons. Things like PlayStation 5. Being a bingo spot in the single greatest. Usually you have things like PS5 have made polygon counts a little bit more nebulous, where things don't really need a polygon count because PlayStation can, using its smart system, make things drop down in polygon count the farther back it goes. Plane is in surface, not an airplane. Two-sided lighting in both Maya and Unreal if you really want to. I can. In here, it makes it a little bit easier for texturing. Not lighting, but texturing, specifically. I'm able to set it so that this could be two-sided, but if I wanted to texture it with two different textures, then it needs to be a cube with like razor-thin side polygons, which is what I did before, and it turned out fine. And really, it only added like 20 polygons, maybe. The entirety of Resident Evil. Ha! But now we have our floor. So how big is our floor? I remember I said it, but I don't need this one anymore. Our floor is 807.72. So let's make that one of the sides. So actually, let's do this. All right. We're going to start out by making this actually the right direction. So this needs to be 807.
Albert,
807.72. Thank you for the subscription. Was it? So poly limit, what do you mean poly limit? Just keep going until the graphics card bleeds. I would not suggest doing that. You could. I don't suggest it. He needs to take a minute to get it out of his system. Thank you, Nimbus. I appreciate your specific rules. Alright, and then 487.68 is this way. So, we need 487.68. Now, we are cooking with fire. So, we have our proper size here. Go us. So, this is our floor. Now, before I delete any size off of this, parts off of this, because I'm not going to need the floor in the bathroom. I'm not going to need the floor in specific areas. I want to figure out where all of my walls are going to be, because we can see there's a wall that goes here and a slight pillar here. So I need to get this all sized out. So 2. Thank you for gifting more subs, Invis. 2D environment artist, so I get you, man. You can vent. There's 3D art is a pain and amazing time. Dude, I love it. I love it so much. This is why I want to do this as my job. I do this for fun. Alright, so 807.72 by... First of all, before we do that, raise this up. And we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. And then this way, 807.72 by 243.84. 243.84. There we go. So we are going to do this, and we're going to move the vertex to the bottom for a very specific reason. We want to move this by where it is on the floor. We don't want to move it by the center of the wall, because that's not helpful to us. We want to move it by where it is in relation to the floor, because that's where it's going to connect to the rest of the building. So this is back wall. Any updates since then? I don't know what to tell you there. I'm assuming that it will be transported soon. I'm hoping. Because that is all on Teespring's side. And goodbye, Lizzie. You can reach out to Teespring to see if they did that. Exist, I find you on TikTok all the time. Thank you very much for stopping by. So this is the back wall. We're going to duplicate this for the front wall. Rotate that a negative 90. Actually a negative 180. I don't know why I did that. Why don't I just flip it a positive 180? It's weird. I don't know why I did that. Sent an email and was told orders from around them would be February 20th to March 5th. There you go. So, fingers crossed. 27 at this point. I know. They are incredibly slow. The only reason that I stick with the merch company that I do is just because the quality of the shirts is usually pretty good. Task and do my SketchUp model. Similarity might keep me focused. Maybe. That might actually help. Alright, now we have the other two walls. So let's copy that. It's very funny because this building looks very small from the top there, but if you actually inside here, it's not that bad. Alright. So we have a second front wall. We're going to make this the left wall. And we're going to make this at 90 degrees. And we're going to shrink this to be the right size. You know, I just realized something. Hold on. Okay, so I'm changing my setup here for a very specific reason. That is because this front wall and this back wall, there are no windows, so it is okay for them to be planes. There's no windows. We don't need to see the depth of the wall. We don't need to see how thick they are in comparison to the window that you're going to be looking out of. We don't need to see all of that. But for the front wall and the left wall, there are windows on both of those, and you can see how thick the wall is. So it is probably better to use cubes for those and just delete the back of the cube. Because these two walls, we don't need to see how thick they are. Because it's like this. You can't see through this wall. So you can't see how thick this wall actually is. This wall might be an inch thick or it might be 3 inches thick. You would have no idea. But if there was a window in it, you'd be able to see exactly how thick that wall is from the side that's facing you. So that's what the front and the right wall are going to, the front and the left wall are going to be. So this is 487.68. No, right here. 487.68. There we go. So we're going to delete that. Doesn't make sense to model things you won't see. Exactly. The walls of the theater are irrelevant to the set. I ignored the thickness and just marked where the doors would be. Exactly. Because this is going to have a door on it, but it's going to be just in there somewhere. And usually what I do is I make a cube that I use as like the measuring cube when things are like placed at a certain point in the wall. So then I can measure out where that door needs to be based on how wide that cube is. Because I'll just put the cube like in the corner and go, okay, the left wall of that cube is where I need to put my door. Because like there's a door that needs to go on this wall. I don't think the stream just crashed. Did the stream just crash? Okay, with that, I have a cube that I am going to space out at 5 feet by 7.5 feet. Because that's going to give me a basic, like, where the wall is. Where these walls are. And then I'm going to put a 1 foot by 2 foot extra block on the top of that and maybe merge it out. All right, so 5.5 by 7.5. No, 5 foot. So 152.4 by 228.6. So let's make this cube. So that needs to be 228.6. I said 228.6 by, what did I say that was? Not that. 152.4. Okay. And then it is how tall? Does it make sense what I'm doing right now? Like this specific thing that I'm doing? Because I want it to make sense. I want this to essentially act as like not a class, but I want to be able to like teach you guys what I'm doing. 243.84. All right. So DV. So I'm gonna move this. I'm going to move this one's pivot to the back corner of it because this is acting as these walls. And because it's acting as those walls, I need this corner to be the one constant. This is where I can line it up with the other two walls for it to act as walls, essentially. Go. Go. Okay, so now the pivot of this is in this corner, which means it'll be a lot easier to move it. Whoop. Bad, bad, bad. So we have the two walls that are back here. Now, bit of my math team. There are too many things happening. I don't know how to help with that one. So, no, that's not helpful. Of course not. Okay, back view then. Just want to say hi and thank you very much. The foundation's out of the way so we can begin modeling with the correct scale of project. Thank you. That is exactly what I'm doing.
Tú solo pisas pasos de cebra. ¿A qué esperas? Abre una ventana nueva. Súbete al tejado, tumba las antenas. Respira bien hondo, puedes ser quien quieras. Escúchate por dentro a ver qué suena.
Alright, so what I am doing right here is I am cutting out segments of the two walls so that I can just merge it with the cube so that we don't need to have two walls touching each other. Where did I just put a line? Alright, I just put it right there, so I need to put one this way. I guess it's left view? Yes. Alright. There we go. Alright, so what I did here is make it so that this will just become part of these walls. I think these overlap, but I'm not sure, so I'm really hoping that I got that right on. Perfect. All right. So now, if I hide this this block, I'm thinking about streaming some of my crafting projects. Any tips from y'all? The only tip that I can give is get good at talking while you're doing it. Get good at talking through your process, because that's the one thing I needed to learn is how to actually like talk my way through this. Is that giant block slightly shorter than the walls? New. If you go to the left view, it's because it's selected. So the line is highlighted, but if I went into object mode and clicked away, the line's perfect. Is mudding yourself in nonsensical brain words count? Kinda. I mean, people are still watching my streams, so I hope so. So, I'm just realizing perfect. There we go. So this can become part of the walls. I divided it like this. Subdivisions. Width. Let's do that. And then depth. Let's do that. So that it can just be part of the walls. Face, tab. Select anything extra, good, delete. We don't need those, so tab, delete. We need these. Tab, delete, tab, delete. There we go. So now this wall juts out, because that's where the bathroom is in the actual building itself, but we're not going to see the bathroom, so we don't need it to be there. I had to model stuff in tech in middle school, and now I have personal hatred with SketchUp. Nothing runs worse on a school Chromebook than a bad program. That's very fair. Muttering is part of the shit. It's just expected of me. Alright, so we're close to this being right, But I want the walls to be connected. I want them to be part of each other so that I can just do the walls in one, like, texture, essentially. It's the Panda ambiance. Ha! I love that phrase. So, we're going to do something here. I am going to... There we go. I'm going to combine these two first. So, mesh, combine. There we go. Then I'm going to delete their history. So now this object is one object. Then I'm going to come in here with edge. I'm going to do something a little heretical. This might look like I'm doing something really stupid, but trust me, this has a point. What I am doing is removing these from this corner so that I can come in and merge them. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but this is the way that I like to do it. Because then it leaves no room for questioning if you got all of them. So now this edge is the same edge. So if I click on this edge here and move it, they're going to move together instead of what they were doing before, which there were two edges that were in the same spot, but if I moved one, it would just separate. So now they're connected, so if I move them, they're part of the same thing. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here, because now we have... Thank you for the gifted subs, Invis. And we are going to combine and delete its history so that it doesn't have any history of not being combined. And then we're going to do the same thing. I could just do this, now that I think about it. And I don't have to get all up close and personal and accidentally grab the wrong edge. There we go. So now this edge is separated from that edge, and I can just go in here and this tool merges edges. That's what I'm doing right now, is I'm making two edges the same edge. Are you going to remove that back part of the floor too? Probably not. The reason I'm doing this is so I am not creating extra walls that I have to texture later. So I can combine them all into one object. The floor doesn't need to be combined with anything, because the floor is just the fucking floor. The floor might be actually easier if it is just a rectangle when I texture it, because then I don't need to worry about any other weird shapes or anything that pop up in the actual texturing. vertex is here. There we go. Perfect. Now I have the back walls. And now I can space things out in comparison to that back wall. What do you use to stream? I'm using Streamlabs right now just because I find the layout easier to use than like OBS. The pre-modeled stuff from the library, so even load in. Yeah, that sounds terrible. Fuck that. Did you fix that corner you were wiggling? Yes. Educational. It does. SketchUp is not really for like modeling. It is for architectural visualization. It's so you can have like blueprints in 3D. That's more what SketchUp is used for than actual like modeling. Like I'm gonna be making like 3D figures and shit, and you can't really do that in SketchUp. Techie is saying OBS. What's the difference? There is a difference in like. Thank you for reminding me to save my work. Layout, functionality, what they do, all of that sort of stuff. But I think Streamlabs layout is a little bit easier to use. It's like heads-up display is a little bit easier for me to follow than OBS. OBS is a lot more complicated for me. Plus, it's a lot of plugins on OBS versus Streamlabs just kind of has it in it. Any favorite colors besides red? Aggravatingly enough, blue. I don't want blue to be one of my favorite colors, just because my name is Jay, so it lends to stereotypes, but otherwise, not really. Okay, so I have my walls. These walls will be handled later. So, let's start blocking things in. What's next? So we have this wall that juts out. Oh, right. There's a 1 foot by 2 foot like pillar that extends out from this. So let's get this. Get all up in here. Okay. That's going to be 60.96 by 30.48. And 243.84 is how tall it is. So 243.84.
Alfred, yeah, call the guy. I don't care how many this makes, call the fucking guy.
Thank you very much for the subscription. And unlike this cube where we put the pivot in the other corner, I'm going to put this pivot in this corner so that I can compare it to this edge of the wall. So T, T, and then there we go. There we go. So now this pillar juts out just a little bit here. It's actually too far back now that I realize it. There we go. And now if I want to, I can make this the exact same texture as the rest of it. Here's old modeling once doing for college. I was for time didn't exist one month. Oh god, I am over time, aren't I? Alright, so I'm gonna say... You know what? I'm gonna finish this pillar and then I'm gonna be done. So let's do this. Subdivision's height. We want it to be the same subdivisions as the other walls so that we don't have to adjust anything. There we go. Alright, so we only really need to delete anything off of this wall. So I think this is left view. God, I don't know. Yes, it is. Thank God. So we're gonna go here. Edge. Now that I think about it, there's an easier way to do this. I don't know why I didn't do this to start. Now it's already separated. Now I don't even need to like go in there and separate it myself. Oh, but I do need to combine these. Hold on. So mesh, combine. And then let's go in here with this. There we go. We have my wall. We have my weird ass pillar that sticks out. All set. So, we are 6 minutes over, so I'm going to call it. Say my work right here. But I am going to call it for the day. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for checking everything out. I'm going to continue doing this tomorrow. Keep working on it. Don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to be... Now that we're in the 3D modeling stage, I can just keep working on this and not have to go back to... I'm so sorry. And not have to go back to Photoshop at all. I will tell Scarlett that you love her, Amy. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for participating. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys for sticking around. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
That's a different kid.
All right.
Did you get a different fucking
Night, guys.
kid?